Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into the exciting world of 3D modeling. Especially, we are going to talk about how to correctly model anything in 3ds Max. So whether you are a beginner or an experienced artist, these tips will help you streamline your workflow and enhance your modeling skills. So let's get started. So the first thing is know what you are going to model. This might sound very obvious, but having a clear idea in your mind is crucial. Once you have decided, it's time to get the references. Look into the images from different angles, front, side, and top. These references are your guide to accurate modeling. So for example, we are going to model this chair. It's from IKEA. It's called Vedbo High Back Armchair. So I was trying to find some references, but I couldn't find front, side, top. But I could find one of the references, which was this, but it had the side angle is actually cut. So what I did was I took this image into the Photoshop, and I simply AI generated it, so I could get the front and the side angle. I think both of these angles are more than enough for my scenario, but if I could get the top angle also, it would make the workflow so much easier. So currently we don't have any top angle, so what you can do is, like, you can go to either Google image search and try to search using an image and see if you can find a top angle of this chair. It's not perfect, but it is helpful to see like how it looks from the top. So you can simply save this image. If you can't find this image, you can right click on it and open image in a new tab and just save it. If it is very small, you can again AI upscale it, but for my scenario it's more than enough. So I'm going to simply download it on this folder and save it. Now second thing is you should always create a folder on your computer and store all your references in one place. This will save you time and keep you organized. For an even better experience, try using PureRef. So this is a free software that you can download for free. If you don't know how to get this software, go to Google and search for PureRef. I'm sure you will get the link to download this software. And in this software, you can simply drag and drop all your references, so you can easily follow all these references when you're modeling your 3D model. From all these references, I don't think I need all the references. I mainly need front, top, and side, and maybe a isometric view also. So for the isometric, we can use this. For the top view, we can use this. For the front and side, I actually have it in Photoshop. Just use this image. So now we have front, side, top, and one isometric view. The other important thing is, like, it's okay, like we know how the image looks from different perspectives. We don't know the actual size of the chair. To get that, you can either get it from the manufacturer website. So I went to the IKEA product page and got these dimensions. I always prefer to work in centimeters, so this is actually this will actually work really good for me. You have to save these images either in JPG. Currently I don't have this image in JPG. I have both of these images. So you can export or save this image directly from the PureRef. So you have to select this image and just right click on it and just save, export, and just export the selected image. And here you can override the name of this image. So I will say front and side, export, and that's it. Now we will organize our folder better. To rename any folder, you can use the keyboard shortcut F2. So in the perspective folder, I will move all my important images and just not keep any image that is not that important. So I have front, side, top and isometric. If you want, you can also better rename this. It is always a good idea to rename this just to keep things organized and things. Okay, so once you have all your images and you have set up a perfect folder for you where you can find all the information you need regarding this 3D model, now you can move on to 3ds Max. The first thing you should do in 3ds Max is to check the units. So as I said, like I have all the units in centimeters here, so I will make sure my system unit setup is centimeters and display unit is also centimeters. Now we are ready to import all our images. So there are actually two ways in which using which you can import all your images in 3ds Max. So the first way is using a script. There is a script called drag and drop. You can find it in script spot, but if you don't have that script, then the manual way is to make a simple plane and drag and drop your images onto that plane. But you have to make sure the proportions of this plane is same as your image size. So you have to go back to your image and just check its proportion. From this image we can see like it's a square image, so it's 1:1 aspect ratio. So I will just go to this plane and change its aspect to 1:1 or something, just make it square, and then you can simply drag and drop this image onto this plane and that's it. So you have this perspective image done. Now create a second plane and we can import our next image. So let's say we want this top image. So the dimensions are, as you can see, 150 by 335. If you cannot see the dimensions when you hover over it, you can also go to properties and then to the detail section, and in here it will show you the dimensions. It's 150 by 335 by 335. Okay, so this is the aspect ratio of our image, and once we have our plane, you can simply drag and drop your image onto that plane and it will come perfectly. Now the same applies to this one. This also looks like it's a square, but it's exactly not a square, as you can see on the dimensions. If it was square, both the length and width of the image would be same, but it's slightly not square. So, and you don't want to mess up the proportions of your image, otherwise whatever you will model, it will come distorted. So you have to make sure the proportions of your image are accurate, like pixel perfect. So it's 596 here, 596. Okay, so it looks square, but it's not square. So once we have all our image, we need to make sure the size of this chair has to be according to real world size. So according to the data from which we got from the IKEA website, we can see the width of the image is 80 centimeter, height is 108 centimeter, and the depth is 85 centimeter. So we can simply just create a box here in 3ds Max, and just we can use this as a reference just to get the area this chair is going to occupy. So it's going to occupy 80 centimeter in width, so I will just write 80 centimeter. Depth has to be 85, and the height is going to be 108 centimeter. In real world, this would be the actual size of the chair. Okay, so now we have figured it out. So we have to set our image planes according to this dimensions. The first thing I will do is like move this reference to 000 or the origin of our 3ds Max scene. Here now I will start to set these planes, image planes, according to this reference. So I know this is going to be my front and this image is going to be my sides. So what I can do is I can simply put a loop in between, like this. To put a loop, you have the shortcut is Ctrl Shift E, but if it is not working for some reason, you can also use connect. Okay, so I can see it is cutting like 1 or 2 pixels. So what I can do is I can change it, but if you do it like this, it's going to mess up the UV space. So what you need to do is you have to make sure you have preserve UV's options ticked, and then you can start moving this edge, so it's perfect. I will put it here. Okay. And now I can go to face mode and just detach it, but the best way would be to get only the portions where our chair is visible. So I will put some loops and just cut out the portion where our chair is, and just delete all the empty spaces which we do not want. So select all the edges and insert a loop in between, connect, and make sure you have preserve UV's options ticked, so you can move this like this and repeat the same process here. You can also do repeat last. So this is our cutout of this front image, so we can simply detach it, and this is our front image. And now we will cut out in the same way we will cut out this side image also. So go to edge mode and start moving this edge. And you can detach it also like this. So we have 2 images now, 2 image planes, front, side, and the same we will do for the top also. So we will just get rid of all the extra edges and apply a edit poly modifier, go to edge mode, insert a loop, and make sure you have preserve UV options ticked. Okay, and do the same for okay, and now you can detach this. So this is going to be your top, and that's it. This is all you need. So now you can start rotating your images, but the first thing you should always do is your pivots should always be in the center and the bottom of the image, center and bottom. So I will select all 3 images and just go to effect pivot only and center to objects, and then I am going to manually just move this or snap to the center of each image, sorry, bottom of each image. Okay, now I can just select all these images and just move them to origin as well, like 0 0 0, and I will also start organizing it so it's easier for me to manage them. Create a new layer, I will call it references, and it's always a good idea to name it, otherwise you don't know what this object is it front image or side image or. So this image is our side image, so I will just rename it to side. This image is front image, and this image is top image. So we know the front image should be in the front, so I will need to rotate it. So when rotating, you can always turn on angle snap 90. So this is going to be a front, but this image is too big. This chair needs to be the size of this cube, so I can start scaling it down so it fits the size of this cube. So now this image plane is according to real world size, and this is how big our image should be. Repeat the same step for side. So the side has to come in the side. You can use angle snap to start rotating and moving it to side. So the shortcut for side is L for going left, then press G for turning off grid, then F3 for the shaded view, and you can also mirror it. Use this option called mirror axis and start scaling it so it is roughly the size of this cube, which is our reference point for the overall size of this chair. Yeah. So this is front, this is side, and the same thing we need to do for top. And this is the correct way of starting any 3D model from scratch. And you can start using a simple plane to start blocking out the whole shape like this. With your references in place, you can start modeling. Remember, the key to a great model is patience and attention to detail. Take your time to get the shapes and proportions right. Use your references as a guide and don't rush the process. As you progress, constantly compare your model to your references. This will help you identify areas that need refinement. Don't be afraid to make adjustments. The goal is to get as close to your reference as possible.